find, and you can tell me what you think about this, Courtney, I find parenting meditative in the sense that I'm always being called back into the moment with a 2-year-old. Like, can't be anywhere else really in my head. Like, she'll burn the house down. So I have to be right here now.
You know, I think it's different with each kid. My daughter is super chill. I mean, she's the one that just wants to lay on you and cuddle. It's just who she is from day one. She's
amazing.
She didn't want it. Like, we have so many toys doesn't want to touch them as a child. Like, she has the best vocabulary you'll ever hear because all she wanted to do was sit and read and read and read. And that's
books.
all we would do. Now, my son, complete polar opposite. He's like, oh, this looks like it could be fun to take down the stairs. Let's just take it and go, and he's been like that since he started to move. So, I think it depends on the child. So
different energies, parenting differently, different energies.
So it's when you add that second mix, and I think this is probably what you deal with a lot of your clients is when you're adding in the different energies and bringing that family dynamic together. Like right now, they're both wanting my attention at all times. And I'm building a business. I'm, managing the house. I don't have a nanny, I'm doing it all. And so I feel very pulled in a lot of directions. And they literally are grabbing each of them by hand during the day and literally pulling me in different ways. And it's kind of like, I have those moments where I'm just like, and I scream or I'll react in a way.
Have a mom moment. Yes.
Yes. So that apology,
and I think that when you do that, do you repair with them?
I try once I can get myself out of it. It is, like you said, giving yourself that space, but you can't always, especially when there's multiple children, you can't always just be like, okay, I'm going into the other room or your husband's on a call, whatever it is.
Totally.
So it's like, what I do is I take deep breaths. That's always kind of like my go-to.
Deep breathing.
Yeah. And my husband will say to me all the time, like, why are you sighing? Why are you breathing? It's just like, I'm trying to bring back
I'm
my
exhaling
energy.
the stress. I'm just exhaling a little bit of stress. I'm inhaling a little love and I'm exhaling some stress. That's what my mom would always say to us growing up. She would definitely use breath, a deep breath, like an exaggerated exhale as a way to de-stress her system. And I find myself doing that too. Often, like, it is just about coming back to the moment. And sometimes one of the tools I use with my daughter sometimes is when I'm really overwhelmed and I'm really anxious and I'm really kind of like at my max capacity, is I remember that this time with her is really temporary. Like that I sort of bring a little bit of a timeline into things where I'm like, she's only going to be under 4 for another year and a half. And then she's going to be in school full time. And then she's going to like have friends on the weekend. Like I try to kind of step back for a moment and give myself a little bit of grace and just the perspective of like, this is a really hard moment. This moment really is big challenge, especially when she wasn't sleeping. Like she's still touch and go with the sleep. But when she wasn't sleeping, like I just wasn't getting that deeper reset that I think is so necessary for the nervous system to know how to respond. So, to the point around intuition, when we're dysregulated, we cannot be intuitive in the same way. We're reactive, literally. So maybe we'll get a vibe, but it's almost like the whole system can like go off left when we should go right because we're dysregulated to begin with. So when we're speaking about intuition and modeling this to my daughter, re-regulating the nervous system, that's why she said to me, calm down. Because she was like, she literally was like, Mom, that's enough. Like you need to bring the energy down here a little bit. You need to get the energy in the room needs to come down. And she was right. And I'm like, that's right. We're not going for perfection here. We're definitely not going to do it right. We're definitely going to make tons of mistakes and we're definitely going to have to talk about stuff in therapy when she's older. But what I am going to do is I'm going to be as present and as available as possible. And sometimes that means literally just talking myself back into the room in a nice way to be like, she's only 2.5 for a little bit longer. And when she's like 40, you're going to miss this teeny tiny person who just wants to like literally be, I call her barnacle baby because she just wants to like be on me physically all the time. You know what I mean? She's just like a
Oh,
little
my
boat,
goodness.
like a barnacle on a boat. Like she just wants to be here on me all the time. So, and sometimes I'm like, oh, babe, like I just need a little space. Like I just am touched out. But that's where using humor also I've found that's something my mom really did so beautifully. And I think intuition really does speak the language of humor. She would always joke and laugh and make us laugh and talk about things in a way that was really playful and sort of kept things light for the most part. And that too, my mom always says like, intuition doesn't speak English. That sometimes we get really fixated, especially Courtney, because you love words and I love words. We both
Yes.
love words. I love words. You can tell clearly I love words. But my mom would always say, like, intuition speaks laughter. Like, intuition doesn't speak English. And we get really fixated on the words of things. And so I think it's so important to kind of keep it light with our kids as a way to stay vibrationally open with them so that they can be receptive and feel. It's like when the energy gets too heavy, it's kind of hard to like sort what's what.